Hey, good morning, internet world. Checking in for day 13 of the vlog. It is 6:50 in the morning. Up to this point, I have mostly done evening recordings, but today is Friday, and I got in another session of my HIIT workouts, weightlifting at 24 Hour Fitness just down the road. And I had some time before work because I'm heading straight to a job site, as opposed to typically I'd be checking into the office right about now, or in about 10 minutes I'd be well on my way. Take care of any admin stuff, emails, etc., and then tackle whatever is the priority for the day. But I'm following up on a job I was at yesterday. I had done a whole punch list of stuff for this client, and a couple of the items I had installed, a couple of electronic or a keypadded door handle / deadbolts, and both of them were a little out of plumb. So the client texted me last night and, hey, no problem, be back to fix it tomorrow. A little frustrating, just because they were kind of well, not the second one, but the first one was kind of tricky. And so I was beating my head against the wall trying to get this new mechanism to work in this old door that's already had a bunch of different stuff done to it. 3 different holes, the wrong sizes. And so, not that there's any excuse, it just exposed maybe a weak spot in my game as a person with the actual ability to be out there fixing and repairing stuff. So just was a frustrating evening yesterday to come home and get that text like, dang, and did all these other items, everything mostly went well, and just these couple of little thorns in the side. So, hey, no problem, be back there first thing in the morning, get those things fixed right up, and then be on my way. And that also being said, it being Friday, typically that means date night, so I didn't want to save the vlog until the evening time, at risk of not making it, or at risking the possibility that I wouldn't have time to record, because I know everyone out there is just anxiously waiting for the next episode. So that being said, did my second HIIT workout this morning, and it was great. I've totally drank the Kool-Aid. It was a shoulders and arms day, and it amounted to basically, I think, 4 workouts, 1 working set each, to failure. And it's tough, it's quick, it's only like 20 minutes. Get in, get some work done, and be on my way. So I think the next workout day is going to be this coming Tuesday, back onto legs. So I'm excited about that. Excited for today. My brother and I will be doing our weekly alignment meeting, which we do for our business. Now we've been doing it maybe for a month or so, just trying to make sure we don't ever get out of step. That was something where, again, maybe a couple of months ago, we were usually pretty much on the same page about many things, and so we never took the time to, hey, close the door, let's hash a bunch of things out, make sure we're really on the same page. And what that would amount to is, yeah, we would be good for long periods of time, but then because there was no mechanism for these frequent check-ins, frequent feedback sessions, little things would accumulate, and we would get further and further out of sync until it would come to a pressure release moment where, one of us was really rubbed the wrong way by something the other person was doing, and or all around we would just get out of sync, and it would cause friction. And so a couple of maybe a month ago, we decided to start trying, hey, weekly, let's once a week push everything aside, have have a little bit of an agenda, and have a bit of an agenda, but then once we got rolling, have last week's meeting notes so that we can review those. Hey, did we make progress on this? Hey, what are our thoughts about that, etc., etc. And then if we get through all of that, and if we still have time, we'll talk new business. We'll discuss new items and things that have come up. And I've found this to be extremely productive, and it's something I think throughout our business as a whole we're starting to implement or really get disciplined about these little routine, regular check-ins where we're bringing everyone together, getting on the same page, reviewing what we talked about previously, making a plan for the future. And even though we're not always getting everything done, we're not always accomplishing every last task we set out to accomplish, we're getting, I think, a lot more done than we did previously, just because we'd be so scatterbrained, so all over the place, where we would, each week, a new topic was coming up, a new priority, and it was a scatterbrains mentality. And when you're sending resources in so many different directions, then fire and forget about that one, fire and forget about that one, and you lose track of which targets you're even aiming at. I think that's a way to really just be spinning your wheels. And so what I think has been great about just maybe this last year in general is starting to narrow our focus and keep it simple. And that's allowed us to start, again, we're not moving as fast. We're not waving our arms around, jumping in a bunch of different directions. It's a much more deliberate, step by step process, which I think is allowing us to actually get traction, because we're not trying to move so fast that our wheels are spinning out. We're taking the time to make sure that as we roll forward, our tires are gripping, and we're checking the gauges, and the engine's not overheating, and then we're getting a little bit, and then hopefully over time we get a little bit more, and then next thing you know, we're on the freeway flying at 90 miles an hour, and that'll hopefully be not but a couple of years out. So all that being said, looking forward to this Friday's alignment meeting. They've been very productive so far. And in the world of our business, there's this, where we're at currently, there's a pretty constant pendulum swing back and forth, being in the service business, where we'll see an uptick in the demand for our services. Whether it's new clients or our existing clientele will come out of the woodwork, and our phone will be ringing off the hook, and our emails will be filling up full every day. New requests, come estimate this, come perform this service. And then that'll set in motion sort of a hiring process where we'll go, whoa, okay, we're overloaded, or we're scheduled X amount of weeks out. Our leadership team is being pulled into the field to actually perform the task. So that's an indicator. Okay, we need more staff. We need more field crew members, or we need more crew members out in the field to perform and deliver all the services. Okay. So then we'll shift the pendulum swings this way to needing. I guess we were over here. A bunch of clients coming out of the woodwork. So we need more staff to service those clients. And then we'll make a big effort. We'll talk to all of our people. We'll send out ads, et cetera, and to get people hired. And then the pendulum will swing back the other way, where now we'll get all these people hired. We'll get them all trained up and onboarded. And now we're cooking with Reese. And we're that much more effective out in the field. And we start to get more efficient. And our operation starts to get really smooth. And we go, oh man, we have, X amount more percentage of staff out in the field. Well, that means we're getting quite a bit more work done. And then we start to see the end of the railroad that we had built. we start to see the train tracks run out in front of us, and we go, oh God, we gotta go out and get more clients, drum up more business, et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, the pendulum will swing back the other way. More work than we can handle, more staff than we have work for, and it just swings back and forth. So I say all that to highlight we're in a moment where we just came out of a very healthy staffing level where we were reaching out to our current clientele as well as potential new business and letting them know, hey, we got a bunch of extra capacity, feel free to send work our way. And then as that work's starting to flood in, the natural turnover of our industry, a family emergency, one individual needs to go on an extended leave, or someone else decides to move on, et cetera, et cetera. And now we have taken on more work as well as lost staffing capacity. So our focus is going to shift to, hey, let's see if we can't bring on a few more folks. And luckily, with the previous effort that we made, there was still like one last name that was on that roster of potential recruits. So reached out to that individual, and so that should help. And then just the ad is back up on the hiring websites. So, and if it gets really tight, then that's when we'll hit the social media hard and see if anyone knows anyone who's looking for a gig. So all that being said, we'll keep this morning short. Appreciate anyone who's tuned into this. Again, if you happen to stumble across this and watch it, let me know what you want to talk about. Again, my interests, the more I'm doing these, I'm kind of refining. I guess I'm a pretty simple, basic, boring guy where I only have a couple of things at the moment that are interesting to me. And one of them, which I talked about today, being operating a business. Another one being, fitness and jiu-jitsu. So that whole world. And then the other one, which I definitely have been going hard on these days, is the politics and economics. So if there's any of those topics that are interesting to you, that you want to bounce some ideas back and forth, by all means, please shoot me a line, shoot me some feedback. This is a constant learning and growing process for me. Again, even yesterday, I stumbled across a pamphlet on the evils of rent control, and there was 2 portions in it, and I haven't even gotten through all of one that was by Milton Friedman, and he talks about the San Francisco housing crisis in 2 different eras. One in 1906 when there was this massive fire, and then 40 years later after the World War, when I think there was just maybe a massive migration west. And so in 1906 they had basically 40% of the population after this fire that didn't have a home, versus in 1946 when they had approximately 10% increase in population that needed a home. And he talks about in 1906 they allowed the free market to work, and there was hardly any wanted ads of people who were in the paper, which I guess at the time was kind of the metric to use. But and he trots out other details, but the main thing being that when they allowed the free market to work, there was no shortage of housing. There was, people were more efficient with their housing. The prices in some areas went up, so people who cared less about having more space, more rooms, etc., didn't worry about paying for that. Dwellings maybe became smaller or were divided in a certain way so that everyone had a home, essentially. And then in 1946, government took action and, put ceilings on rents and to try to do all these things, I guess, to help alleviate the issue. And then of course, anytime government takes any action to try and solve a problem, it just makes it worse. And so there was, significantly more vacancies and people without a home. So as you can see, these videos or this little vlog project, as well as whatever else other ideas I'm trying to put down on video and put out into the world, is again forcing me go do some learning, getting some new ideas, fascinating stuff. So anyhow, again, if any of those topics interest you, feel free to post a comment. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So we can get a bit of a conversation going. So anyhow, hope you guys have a great day and a great weekend and a great Independence Day if you're in the States. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Later.